Okay, we got fraction with the variables top and bottom. They look strikingly similar, but they're not same thing. So let's start with the top. The common factor, or greatest common factor of xy and x squared will be x. So let's just quickly recap. When you want to find the least or greatest common factor, you look for the lowest power of the same variable. I'm not seeing any y, so I can ignore y. But between x and x squared, because both terms can be divisible by x, the greatest common factor between these two variable expressions will be x. So xy over x you get y, and x squared over x you get x. So what does this signify? You can write the greatest common factor outside, and you can write y plus x or x plus y, it doesn't matter. Okay, so that's what stays on top after you factor out the GCF. Now what about the bottom? So I have x, y, and y squared, and notice that we can divide everything by y. Okay, because y to the first power versus y squared. You look for the lower power, and if you divide xy over x, you get, or xy over y, you get x, and y squared over y, you get y. So this y will be factored out, and we have x. However, okay, I just noticed that there's a minus here. Okay, so let's fix that. Yeah, it might be a good idea to keep the negative sign. Okay, so I get x minus y. Now here's the tricky part. Many of you might wonder, I'm not seeing my answer choices. Okay, you're not wrong, but there's some trick involved here. When you have same variable expressions, except they are switched. So this got plus y, you got minus y. On the top you have minus x, but on the bottom you get plus x. What you can do is multiply negative 1 where you want. So let's say I want to multiply negative 1, although top doesn't matter. Just choose one side. So the way how this works is that if you distribute negative 1, it's going to have a same structure as the top. But you can't just multiply negative 1 because that will be unfair to the expression. So don't forget to also multiply negative 1 on the top. Okay, when you put negative on the bottom, multiply on top. Or you could also put negative 1 underneath. It doesn't matter in this case. But make sure you provide the equivalent terms top and bottom. Because that way your ratio is not changed. So when you distribute negative 1 with x and negative y, you're gonna get y, because negative y times negative 1 will be positive y, and negative 1 times x will give you minus x. And that's what I'm talking about here. They are same, which allows you to cancel out. Okay, let's cancel that out. And negative 1 times this expression will have minus x over y. So your answer should be C here.